Hey everyone, I'm Joe Latender, and in this video we're going to do a vinyl plank review on plank from Lowe's. So let's watch. So today we're going to talk about Smartcore from Lowe's. Now it says featuring Core-Tech. So I'll do some investigating and we'll talk more about that, but obviously this is a Core-Tech product. Alright, so we have 11 plank that came out of this carton, and out of that we have 5 different patterns. Now there's a little bit more than that, but these ones, like I've showed you in other videos, are still the same pattern. You can see that right there, how it lines up. Now the thing with this though is this one is reversed, so they have it so it's going the other way, because here's the locking system that matches this side and this side match. So it's not identical, but it's still the same pattern, and I just wanted to point that out to you. So then out of these 3, we have the same pattern. You can see how it's right there. Here it is. And then here it is on this one. Same thing here. Same pattern. But again, I have the plank reversed, meaning that it actually goes like this. So these patterns aren't exact then, unless they're reversed. Now this one, we have identical patterns in the box. And there was 3 of those patterns in here. So you can see it's right there. Actually, right there. This one was all by itself. So this is a tongue and groove. It's not a drop and lock. So you put the joint in the short end first, the butt joint, and then we'll work on getting the long joint in after that. This particular one is a micro beveled edge. Now this is the Core-Tech locking system. So it's the same locking system you'd find on Core-Tech vinyl plank. I mean, it makes it a little harder to get started when there's smaller planks like that, but for the most part, this is installing pretty easy. I don't know, because it's the narrower plank, I'll probably give this a, I don't know, as far as easiness for putting it together, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. So this was a micro bevel. It went together pretty decent, like I said. Nice tight joints. Now, the thing with these darker ones is if you're going to ever see a scratch, it's going to be in one of these. I don't see any scratches. Now, when I'm installing, I use a marker, a permanent marker, to mark my walls, door jambs, things like that while I'm, marking my cuts. And so I'm just demonstrating here to see if you use a permanent marker on this plank, if it will come off. You can see that comes right off. So you'd be safe to use permanent marker. Now I use denatured alcohol to clean this off. Some of you might not be able to find this. You can also use goof off, rubbing alcohol, hairspray, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Now let's see how well this vinyl plank cuts if I score it. This actually cuts, it scores pretty good. It takes a little bit to snap it because of that core. Let's try the length. I'm just gonna cut a small sliver. So that snaps off. Using a utility knife. Now let's try the jigsaw. Now I've said this in some of my other videos, this is just a normal wood jigsaw blade. I'm not using any kind of special blade because no matter what you use, they wear out easy. So don't buy the most expensive jigsaw blades and just realize that you're going to use a few of them during your installation. Now this is the piece that I did that hammer test on, so you can see the dings in there a little bit better this time. Okay, so let's test the locking system on this. I mean, it doesn't break that easy. It actually bends a little bit. You can kind of see how I bent it and it still hasn't broke off. But you can hear it snapping off. It's not the weakest locking system I've ever seen, but it does break. I'm just letting you know there's a lot stronger out there. So if you don't have a perfectly flat floor, you might want to be concerned about that a little bit. Now this particular one is the Smartcore, okay? This is the Kowita Oak is what the color is. It has an attached pad on it, and it was a 5x48 plank. Now I said it was a 6, I believe, inside the video. I was wrong, it's a 5. I don't know why I was thinking it was a 6, but this is $329 a square foot. The thickness of this is 6.5 millimeters thick. We have a 12 mil wear layer on here, and it has the scratch protectant part of that wear layer is made out of acrylic, it's saying. So let's see how she scratches with a fork. I can see some marks in there from the fork. Now I'm gonna try to wipe this off to see if that was just coming from the fork. I didn't press down super hard, so it looks like those scratches kind of went away. There's still a little bit right there. I think you can see it. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about wear layer since that we're on the subject of that right now. I want you to imagine a dollar bill. That's 4.3 mil layer, or mils. Okay, so that's what the thickness of any bill is, whether it be a 20, 100, whatever. So I have 5 of them here. If you put those together, then you'll be able to tell what the thickness is of a 21.5 mil layer is what this would be then, okay? So a lot of times we see 20 and 22. Well, if you feel the thickness of those bills together, press them together, you'll kind of get an idea then of how thick that is. So overall, with the durability of this plank, with it scratching a little bit there with the fork, the locking system being able to break off, I think that I would give this plank a 4. I don't like how easy it scratches. The locking system wasn't really strong. It was okay strong. I just feel like I can't really give it much more than a 4. So now we're going to go through style selections. Now this is something that I believe is exclusive to Lowe's. So we're going to go through this box. Okay, so there's 10 plank inside this carton. Out of all of those, we have 5 of the similar patterns. There's not any that are identical in here. Some of them get overlapped a little bit close, but you can just see, here's the pattern right here. This one was all by itself. Got this one right here, you can see. these two. So again, none of them are perfectly lined up, but I just want you to be aware of what's in there in one carton. This one actually comes down here, so it's overlapped right there. And then this one is overlapped almost all the way. All of these were running the same direction. All right, this is also a tongue and groove plank. This is a square edge plank, it's not a micro bevel. In these tests, I like to share how easy or how difficult a plank is to put together because it's going to be something that's important for you. Now, I do have several other tips on helping you to be able to get started with the first few rows and a lot of tips that will help you during your installation. Just click on the link above if you want to go and get more information about this video. For the most part, it seems like it's going together pretty decent. The joints all seem to be going together nice and tight. I don't feel any high and low spots. I don't seem to be damaging the locking system when I'm hitting it with my tapping block. It does definitely like a little bit of love tap to get into place. I don't know, I think this went together a little easier for me than the Cortec, the 6.5 inch, which is definitely makes it a big difference when it's a thinner or skinnier plank. I'd give this plank a 7 out of 10 as far as how easy it installs. I don't see any scratches. Let's try the marker test on this one. Again, I'm using denatured alcohol. You can see that wipes right off also. Try to cut this one. This one snaps, or scores and snaps pretty easy. It's a little thinner plank than the last one. It also scores and snaps in the length easily. Let's try the jigsaw. Again, you can see that the jigsaw rips right through this. Right here is where I hit. You can see both claw marks in this one. For hitting that as good as I did with the claw, this one actually did pretty decent too. It's a lighter plank though. So things hide more. Now this plank right here is the Style Selections, which is exclusive to Lowe's. Also, so is Smartcore. But this color is Ashen Oak. It has an attached pad to it. This plank is a 7x48. The thickness of this plank is 5 millimeters. Okay, so it's 5 millimeters thick. The wear layer on this plank is a 12 mil. So pretty close to, well, not close to, but that would be about the significance of $3 bills. Okay. As far as the wear layer protection, the scratch protection part of it, it's a urethane is what they're saying. Okay, so there's not anything more special on there other than just a urethane that's protecting that wear layer. This is $259 a square foot. So I have had a lot of people that I've dealt with on my membership site that do use this plank. I've heard good and bad about it, but as far as the locking system goes, let's test it and see how easy it breaks. I mean, I'm able to break it off. It does take a little bit of effort, but not too much to get that broken off. I wasn't able to damage this really when I was installing it. So I would just be more concerned with this locking system if I didn't have a perfectly flat floor. Now, most plank manufacturers are going to tell you need to have a flat floor. But let's be realistic. We don't always have perfectly flat floors. And so with that being said, I always like to make sure I have a nice locking system that's going to hold up. Let's try the fork test. I see where the marks are, but I don't think it scratched it. I think it just made marks. Just trying to wipe that away with my shirt. I don't see any scratches that stayed in there. Those marks that were in there from the fork are gone. I don't know. To be honest with you, I was expecting this to not really be a good plank when I bought it and brought it home to test it. I really think you're getting a good bang for your buck with this. The locking system I'm not a super big fan of, so I wouldn't give it high marks, but I'll give this for the price, I'll give this a 5.5. It installed pretty easy. I didn't think it was too difficult. Pretty decent quality. Okay, we're gonna talk about Pergo Duracraft. All right, so I'm going through this box and I had to study this for about 10 minutes because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of this box of 7 plank, I don't have one pattern that matches in here. None of them overlap. I'm actually pretty impressed by this. Out of the 6 boxes that I went through at Home Depot, I didn't find that. Now here at Lowe's, I've already been through 2. Couldn't find it, but I got to the Pergo here, and we have 7 different patterns. And not one of them are the same. Some of them kind of have they're a little more plain, like these 2 are a little more plain, but they're not the same pattern at all. When you have a plank with as much character as this has, it's nice to see a lot more patterns so that it's not noticeable seeing the repeat constantly. So I'm pretty impressed with Pergo on this. So I am pretty impressed so far with the patterns because usually the higher end planks, which Pergo is a higher end, but it's still, I can't remember exactly. We'll go through this at the end of this review on what the cost was on this, but usually those $7, $8 ones that you see for $7, $8 a square foot, those are the ones where you're gonna see the more patterns. So I'm pretty impressed by this right now so far. Okay, you can see I'm kind of working away from the groove on the other side. Now every plank manufacturer is different. Now Pergo's putting their groove on this side of the plank instead of this side. This is also a tongue and groove, which I personally like tongue and groove better. I think you get more strength in your butt joints when you have a tongue and groove instead of the drop and lock. Looks like it has just a really small micro bevel to it. Now this is going to be awkward for me because we're working the other way. I don't know, overall, it goes together pretty decent. We have a joint that is flawed. I don't know why, but I have it tight together. It's all square. You can see all these joints are all nice and tight together. Let me just make sure everything is tight. And then we get right to there and I have a flawed joint. Now this could be just a you know, one box that has this. I don't know. But you know, it came in the box that I bought, so I need to point that out to you. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad plank because they have one bad plank, so because that can happen during manufacturing. So I'm not gonna let that destroy the credibility of Pergo, because I've seen it in other ones too. So now I put it together and it looks just fine. So the problem we had is right there, something happened during the milling process. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, mainly because I don't like how the locking system is different, how it's reversed. It makes it a little awkward to install. Okay, I don't see any scratches. No scratches. All right, let's try the marker test in this. Again, I'm using denatured alcohol. My rag's getting a little dry on it, but comes right off. So you'd be safe to use permanent marker. Let's try cutting. Now for all three of these planks, I've been using the same blade. I haven't changed it at all. It's still scoring and snapping pretty nice. Scores and snaps in the length easy. Let's try the jigsaw. Now this is the one that I hit with the hammer. You can see right there. Let's see if I can get the right light on it. There was that little tiny ding. That's all that was left from the claw of that hammer. Okay, so we have the Pergo Duracraft Plus Wet Protect, it says. The color of this is Heirloom Estate Oak. It has an attached pad to it. It's a little different than what we've seen in some of the other planks that I've done reviews on. It's a white type of pad on here. This plank is 7.5 inches by 48 inches. This is $4.29 a square foot. The thickness of it is 6 millimeters. And the wear layer that's on here is 20 millimeters, or 20 mil. So again, if you had $5 bills, it would be just a little thinner than that. Okay, so it does have a pretty significant wear layer on here. Now let's test this locking system. I can't break this locking system. Okay, I can't break it. Let's try the scratch test. Now I dug pretty deep on that one. but I still don't think that I scratched it. I think I'm just leaving marks with the fork. So let me wipe this off. Okay, I still see a little bit there. I did dig good on that one though, but I don't feel like it scratched it. I still feel like it's just made a mark. It's kind of hard to explain here. I still see some fork marks in here. You see them? I don't know. Like I said, I dug pretty hard on that one. When I do it a little lighter, it doesn't scratch. I mean, overall, I think it's pretty durable. I did show you that one spot where we had that problem with the manufacturing part of this plank. I'm not going to really factor that in because, like I told you, I've seen that happen. Sometimes you get a flawed piece that comes through the line. I guess I would say that I would give this plank a 7. I didn't like the locking system on how it was set up for install. I think it makes it a little awkward to install. Overall, it's a good product. Now, I didn't buy a carton of this, but I want to talk to you about this because this is another one that's at Lowe's that they were selling it in a section over there, over in a section that they, had a lot of plank for their lower end stuff. So this is called Shaw Matrix. The locking system on this is really flimsy. You can see how it's just bending. Now they are claiming this has some special technology. I still don't like how easy that bends and breaks. And this is a really skinny plank. Anyway, this is called Shaw Matrix with advanced flex technology. So they're claiming that you can put this over any type of floor, no matter how bad it is, as far as waviness and stuff goes, and this is going to perform. Maybe that's why the locking system was flexible like that, which I'm guessing that is the reason, but I still don't like how you have a flexible locking system and it can break off. Okay, so if you have a bad floor, I don't trust that locking system at all. And that's just my opinion on this, but this is Dockside Hickory. It's 6x48. And it's $1.99 a square foot. I honestly think that you can get, for the money, I think I would upgrade a little bit more to like $2.59 for something that's a lot better, a lot thicker. I just really don't like these thin planks. This is only 3.2 millimeters thick. The wear layer on this is only a 6 mil, so it's thin. It's barely thicker than a dollar bill. It is by a couple mils, but not much. There is a urethane ceramic that they put on here, and usually I've found good luck with the ceramic bead technology that people use on their scratch resistant wear layer part. So let's check and see how that does. I see some scratches in there. Trying to get it in the right lighting here. I still see a one little tiny part right here that I still scratched, but I dug pretty good in that. Overall, I think the durability of this as far as being scratch resistant isn't bad. But again, this is a cheaper plank, and for me to really give it a good score, I would give this a 4. Okay, because of the durability of the I just feel like you can get more bang for your buck, guys, than this. So I'm not really going to give this a great review. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this review. Now next week I'm going to go through the rest of the vinyl plank that I got from Lowe's, and I'm going to go through that. It's Smartcore Pro, Smartcore Ultra, and then I'm also going to do a review on Procore Plus. There's also a couple others that I added in there from Lowe's that I will again bring that to you next week. Now, if you're not just looking for what plank that you should buy, by going by some reviews here, maybe you're going to be installing this floor on your own, and maybe you're not sure if you can do this or not. I have a video that you can watch, and there'll be a link around here somewhere. I'll also put it in the description for a video called How to Install Vinyl Plank Without Losing Your Mind. Now this is a great video to watch for somebody who's looking for some easy to use methods that has never installed before. These are really easy to learn, easy to use, so go check that video out. I'll walk you through your entire installation in that video. It's a video that has over 1 million views. It's a little over a year old. Still a great video. Go watch that, check it out. Now I also have a place where people can come and join if they want to get some coaching along the way, where you share your drawing with me of your area, and I'll walk you through step by step your instructions, your installation instructions, custom for your house, just for your project. That's called Laminate University. I'll have a link down below for that. Also, I want you to know that coming in the next few weeks, I have L&L flooring that I'm going to do some reviews on. Also Quartec, got a bunch of stuff from Floor Decor, and of course there's more like Cali Bamboo. There's all sorts of different ones out there that we'll be checking out in the future. Hey, I just want to tell you, God bless you. I hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.